Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's take a look at where the markets are at this point in time. It's 2 p.m. and the markets are absolutely flat in our trading session. As you can see it on your screen, we are flat with a negative bias on the Nifty, flat with a positive bias on the Sensex. That's how the markets are looking like at this point in time. But the key to note is that the recovery is trying to set in when it comes to the benchmark indices. Even for the matter of fact, broader markets, we are seeing a good recovery. Let's take a look realty index, because remember that was among the top sectoral gainers for the day, realty index, but that up some of its gain. There you go, but still holding on to gains above 1.2% or so. Let's talk about what's exactly happening in the global market front, especially in the commodity market. Remember that you have the gold that is perched above that 2300 per ounce mark. Crude oil prices, sharp spike coming in an overnight trading session. You saw the Brent crude surpass the $90 per barrel mark. That's the first time since the month of October. And you have the Brent crude right now at around $90.7 per barrel. WTI crude at around $86.4 per barrel. So that's where the crude is at. And that's why you see even OMC is actually under pressure in
the last
today.
couple of trading sessions also, we have seen those bit of pressures coming in because crude has consistently been moving a bit upwards.
Yeah, crude has been and it's not good for our OMC, so all of them under pressure. But crude prices could hover around $90 per barrel mark by year end, is the word coming in from FG founder and chair Dr. Beriwal. This he had an exclusive chat with ET Now's Sudesh's editor-in-chief Nikunj Dalmia. Here are what else he had to say.
So we're looking at the prices $90 to $95 a barrel by the end of this year. Next year, maybe a little bit lower, $75, $85. And medium term, the demand growth continues to grow. Maybe 6 million barrels per day more demand is there to be achieved before we reach a peak in the early 2030s. And after we reach a peak, it will be very flat demand. It's not going to collapse by any means. So these ideas that somehow the renewable energy will come in and because of carbon issues, the demand will collapse, is certainly not true. Everybody promised carbon neutral by 2050. That cannot be achieved. I think India's 2070 is much more reasonable and achievable than many of the 2050 stories. So basically, oil demand will peak and flatten and begin to come down. But by 2045, 2050, our demand is about the same as this year.
That's the word coming in from Dr. Beriwal. But let's move on and keep it going with the buzzers in trade today. And on the technicals, now we're joined by Arpit Beriwal from Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Arpit, very good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining in with us. And let's start with your stock. Mahindra & Mahindra is the one that you've picked out for us from the auto pack. What is the chart indicating for this one? 2013 rupees is what it's trading at. Still an attractive buy?
Very good afternoon, team. So if you look at the auto space, from past 15 days, we have seen a strong momentum in entire auto space. And if you look at M&M, so past 6 months, auto index has been overall uptrend and forming higher lows. On weekly scale, if we see M&M has seen good recovery from 1900 odd levels, and on daily scale also from past 6 to 7 session, the base of the stock is shift higher. So looking at the overall setup, it is trading a lifetime high, and auto index has been a strong uptrend. So within this thing, this is a strong outperformer. Technically also on monthly scale, it is forming higher lows. So overall, looking at the current setup, also the base of the stock is shifting higher towards 2050, 2100 levels. And looking at the market setup also, we have seen good traction in heavyweights. So 6 to 7% upside move can be seen in M&M from current levels. So one can go long at current levels or minor dip towards 2000 with keeping stop loss 1950 for an upside move towards 2100 levels.
Okay, that's M&M. Keep an eye out on those levels there. But let's move on and talk about Puravankara. More Q4 update coming in from this real estate player as well. And this is a update that we could say came in from Puravankara. Overall operational update, pre-sales doubled, aided by the new launches. Look at the stock trading almost at the day's highest point as of now.
We have...
but at least something that's on the... So it's not you. It's only those stocks that were not doing well. But Puravankara Shawnee holding on to 7%, more than 7% of gains, aided by the increase in the pace of launches. Pre-sales increased by 93% on a year-on-year basis. Full year bookings also saw almost a 90% uptick on a YOY basis. Other than that, they've added 4 new projects, 2 in Bangalore, 1 in Chennai, 1 in Pune. And when you look at it, the realizations increased by 9% YOY. Other than that, they remain quite steady at 7,900 square feet, rupees per square feet for FY24. Successful launches, positive outlook for the upcoming projects is something that is keeping the stock abuzz, and 7% uptick is what it's meriting.
Alright, that's Puravankara for you. Let's move on. Let's talk about Canara Bank. Then Arpit, it's been a while. We've actually spoken about PSU counters, especially Canara Bank. Looks like all the targets have been met for this particular counter, given the fact they saw a sharp rally over the last 6 months. But are you foreseeing some more upside? I think the stock will now start consolidating.
As rightly said, we have been quite bullish on the PSU pack as a whole, and PSU index has been seeing good recovery from past couple of weeks. And within that, CanBank is the top pick. So if you look at the monthly setup of PSU index, it is trading at lifetime high. Last week we have seen good recovery from lower levels. CanBank, technically it has given a range breakout above 585 levels. On weekly scale, it has given a range breakout after 8 weeks. Daily setup, it is forming higher highs, high lows as base of the stock is shifting higher, and short-term moving averages are below, which overall indicates that momentum is likely to be seen at current levels. So from here on also, we are quite bullish for another 7 to 8% upside move. So CanBank can be bought at current levels or minor dip towards 605, 606 levels, with keeping stop loss of 585 for an upside move towards 650 and then 666 levels. So we would buy it, strongly recommend on PSU space. CanBank will be a top pick.
Surely keeping an eye on that, the top pick over there. But let's pull up ITC as well. We did see a bulk deal that happened, but we've seen a spike up in the chart as well, and it's become among the top contributors for the Nifty 50, pulling up the Nifty. And look at the uptick that we're seeing. Gradually started up pace by the second half of the day, and 1.8% uptick there is what we're seeing right now. That's what is moving that Nifty. The slight of a positive bias as of now is what we could say, but somewhere down the line, ITC is contributing to that and helping it pull up. Other than that was HDFC Bank. So that's how it's looking like. But let's keep it going with the stocks that are buzzing and Global Spirits. Gaurav, why have you picked out this one for us, and what's the news for you?
Global Spirits, we can say that there is happiness in the investors of Global Spirit, and at the same time, we may see some kind of happiness in the people who actually likes to party, because company has now recently entered into a JV with Ansa Macchial Limited with the primary objective to engage into manufacturing, sourcing and distributing beer in India. Now with this JV, company is going to launch its world-class, very famous beer, Carib beer, which is actually a famous beer in Caribbean region. And on back of this news, we saw the stock was trading up almost 3% in today's trade. Now talking about the Indian market, we have already seen that there is a huge opportunity in terms of consumers when it comes to India. And given that the new beer is being launched with the Global Spirit, we may see some kind of uptick coming up in the days ahead as well, because that creates a huge opportunity for the company to pitch in new product and increase its revenue. So all in all, a positive news coming up for Global Spirit, and on back of this, we will definitely keep an eye on this stock in the time coming ahead.
Definitely, Gaurav, and like you said, it is going to keep some cheers for the consumers as well as for the stock. For now, at least the stockholders of Global Spirits having a good run in today's trading session. In high spirits, yes, in high spirits, I must say. But let's talk about Oberoi Realty, and how is this one looking at the charts to you now?
To talk about reality space, so I think in the first week of March, the carnage that we have seen in the mid cap and small cap, we have seen strong recovery from reality space, and it is again trading at multi-year highs. Reality index as a whole, within that, Oberoi Realty has been a top pick. So technically, it is trading at lifetime high territories. In the Jan or Feb quarter, the stock corrected from 1500 odd levels to around 1300, but in past couple of weeks, it is very strong. Almost you've seen a surge of 8 to 10% upside move. And going forward also, we are likely to expect outperformance within the reality pack, and within that, Oberoi Realty is a top pick. So trading a lifetime high, weekly setup is quite strong. Daily, the base of the stock is shifting higher. So initial hurdle was around 1520 levels. From past couple of days, it is sustaining above that levels, and likely you can head towards new sky zone towards 1650, 1700 levels. So Oberoi Realty can be bought at current levels with keeping stop loss below 1490 for an upside move towards 1650, then 1700 levels.
Okay, could reach those 1700 levels is one point of time is what we're keeping an eye out on overall realty. Let's move on, talk about Bandhan Bank. And Ankita, what is the Q4 update highlighting? What's the stock doing right now?
Well, yes, Bandhan Bank has come out with its Q4 update. Well, if you look at the advances, it is up 18% on a year-on-year basis at 1.28 lakh crores. The deposits have also seen an uptick of 25% on a year-on-year basis. The CASA ratio has also improved 100 basis points on a sequential basis, and the LCR on March 31st, 2024 stands at 172%. A couple of brokerage notes also gave their view on Bandhan Bank. Nomura, I beg your pardon, has come out with a note, and it's maintaining a buy on the counter with a target price of 275 rupees per share. They feel that a sharp growth uptick. The MFI collections have picked up. Deposit growth was also strong, led by strong growth in both retail and the bulk deposits, and they believe that the key for Bandhan's re-rating remains a consistent delivery on the asset quality. So that's the word coming in for Nomura. JP Morgan is maintaining its overweight on the counter with a target price of 270 rupees per share. They feel that the advances have accelerated 11% on a sequential basis, 18% on a year-on-year basis, and it is meeting the guidance that has been given by the management. The efficiency in the EE book remains absolutely strong at a good 99%, and the uncertainty around the CGMFU audit and Mr. Ghosh's term extension beyond July 24 could keep the stock pretty range bound in the near term, and that's what we see. Actually, Bandhan Bank is trading with cuts right now, but good word coming in from the brokerage notes after the Q4 update.
All right, so that is Bandhan Bank for you. But Arpit, let's talk about Tata Chemicals, and how is this one looking on the charts to you after the sharp rise that the stock had witnessed on anticipation of some value unlocking that did not transpire the way we are expecting. The stock saw a downtick, and now it's seen at around 1,130 odd levels. Where do you see it headed from here on now?
So talking about Tata as a group within that, so first week of March we have seen a stupendous rally across Tata stocks. And Tata Chem, if we see in the start of the March series, the stock almost surged by 30% from 1000 levels to almost 1350 levels. In past couple of weeks, stock corrected, cool off from higher levels. So weekly scale, it has negated its formation of lower highs. On daily scale, it is on the verge of giving consolidation breakout above 1100 levels. So past 7 to 8 session, it was finding some hurdle near 1120 levels. Today, good surge is seen, and on early on intraday basis also, stock is seeing sharp surge in volumes. So going forward, the risk reward is quite favorable at current juncture, and we can expect another 6 to 8% rally from current levels because the stock has already corrected and now near its support zone. So one can go long at current levels or minor dip towards 1100 levels with keeping stop loss of 1060 for an upside move towards 1200 and 1220 levels.
Right, so that's the word coming in on Tata Chemicals, where to see it headed from here on. But on that note, we slip into a break. On the other side, more stocks to discuss too. Anyway.
Co-powered by Union Bank of India. Sturris Healthcare Private Limited deals in quality medicine. Sturris, quality that you trust.
All leaders in individual sectors.
What's the sense that you're getting on volume growth? Just clarify this entire case.
What is it going to mean for the business?
What else are you looking at?
It was clearly one of the biggest deals.
ET now have been getting you bit by bit.
Revolt, India's #1 electric bike. Built for Generation Y.
As per the theme, Investing Opportunities in a Dominant Bharat, the event engaged the audience in discussions on India's potential and how it is emerging as a leading global economy.
If you really believe that Bharat is going to be the third largest economy in the last 7 years, right, and a GDP is going to grow at, say, 7% plus, I think you will see a lot of opportunities emerging. I think corporate India growth we have seen, which has been very strong in the last 2 years, I think we'll continue to grow at a double-digit rate, right?
Market में basically तीन चीजों का संगम है, right? You've got earnings, you've got liquidity, and you've got sentiment. And the interplay of that is pretty much what determines the medium-term structure of markets, right? Now, if I take the first pillar, that of earnings, the last 3 years we have actually seen earnings double.
Next 3 to 5 years, do you think markets will get returns for the schemes you manage?
The expectation will be slightly more moderate going forward over the next 3 to 5 years.
Today, there is an anomaly for real estate purely because of lack of enough capital. So I think today, you get higher returns in real estate compared to any other asset class for a similar risk profile. So I think as the market matures, those returns for that similar exposure will come in line with other asset classes.
I think the construct is that today everybody believes कि पिछले 6 महीने का रिटर्न जो मेरे से मिस हुआ है वो मैं अगले 6 महीने कमा लूँ, वो शायद होना मुश्किल है, बट अगले 3 साल में पिछले 3 साल से ज़्यादा रिटर्न तो आराम से आ सकता है. And the last but not the least is sentiment. Now I think sentiment is a big swinger. Today India is perhaps the darling of the world. All that is good, but at the end of the day, हंसी कभी गम.
If one is keeping the right expectations, then there's a very good chance of being happy with what you get.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now. Let's take you through all the stocks moving in trade. Another one coming out with this business update, and that's Kalyan Jewellers. And if you look at that particular stock, it actually saw an uptick of as much as 3% on an intraday basis. Now giving up all of its morning gains, is trading low by about 0.3% downtick now. The company has said that the Q4 consolidated revenue saw an uptick of as much as 34% on a year-on-year basis. The revenue for India operations also by about 38%. So on back of that, we saw the stock actually see a good uptake. In fact, it would have been a 4th consecutive session of rise for the stock, but it looks like it snapped that 3-day gaining streak and is giving up all of its gains.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in shock because the last time I actually saw it, it was on the positive side. I didn't see it coming down. But yes, that's Kalyan Jewellers. But moving on, let's talk about Voltas then. And Voltas on the charts, what is it looking like? This one has been, moving quite a much bit. When you look at it, last 6 months, around a 40% return. What should one expect from Voltas, sir?
So if you look overall to Voltas, so mainly if you look at the overall consumer space, as summer season is picking up and we have seen good traction overall in consumer durable stocks. So Voltas, if you see technically, it has given a massive range breakout above 1140 levels. So rightly in last 1 week, we have seen a good returns of almost 8 to 10%. But otherwise, there is still much more room on the upside. So on monthly scale, it has given a strong bullish candle. On weekly scale, if you see a range breakout after almost 5 months, and daily scale, the stock is consolidating at high levels, and slowly, gradually, the base of the stock is shifting higher. From current levels, also we see a good upside towards 1300, 1320 levels because strong traction is seen across mid-cap space. So Voltas would be a preferred pick within the consumer space. One can go long at current levels or a minor dip towards 1220 with keeping stop loss of 1188 and upside move towards 1300, 1320 zones.
Alright, so that is Voltas for you. Gaurav, let's talk about Dabur, one of the stocks that was declining in yesterday's trading session. We did discuss about it a short while ago as well. And today you have a brokerage note.
Well, yes. This stock is buzzing again on the back of the quarterly update it has given. Now, if we talk about the FMCG sector overall, it won't be unfair to say that FMCG sector has actually struggled in the last quarter. And if we talk about Dabur also, during this quarter also we saw some pessimistic commentary coming up from the management where they said that we may see some kind of mid-single digit revenue growth in Q4 FY24. And now on back of this, now brokerages are also being a little pessimistic on the stock. So for example, for Citi, they have maintained sell rating while cut the target price to 500 rupees per share. What they believe is that they see some kind of challenge across demand as well as profitability for the company coming ahead. They also believe that the profitability will be missed during 4Q FY24 because of the higher ad spends that we have seen in the company. And lastly, they also believe that there has to be some kind of sustained acceleration for the company in terms of volumes as well as in terms of revenue for any kind of positive news for the company. So on back of this, if you look at the stock performance now, yesterday it was 5%. Now it has been on a flat range for today's trade. But all in all, on back of this pessimistic note that has come from Citi, we'll keep an eye on Dabur and see how it performs in the days coming ahead.
I want to talk about another stock that's buzzing in trade for a while now, and that's Hudco. You know, Arpit, when you're looking at it, around a 130% return in just 6 months is what Hudco has managed to give. Last 1 year, it's around 350% uptick. So from 50, it's moved up to 200. What's the view now? Should we start booking profits here or maybe hold on to it still?
So if you see from a bigger time frame, yeah, stock has already developed ripple up from lower levels. But if you look at the overall structure, so technically the stock is quite strong. After a sharp up move from almost December series, Jan series, the stock was almost developed. Post that, the stock went into a consolidation phase. So from past 9 months, stock is trading in a range between 160 to 200 levels. But the good part is that as soon as we see recovery in the broader indices, the stock is again up at the high zones. So now looking at the overall setup, after 9 weeks of consolidation, the stock is holding up 200 levels, and we can see another spike of 10 to 12% in very short coming weeks. So Hudco over the chart setup wise, it's getting up for the next level of trigger towards 230 to 35 levels. So those who are holding it can continue to hold it, and those who want to enter at a fresh level can bought at the current levels towards the 202 to 205 levels, with keeping stop loss of 190 for an upside move towards 230 to 235.
Okay, let's move on to the next stock, and ISA Bank is what we're going to talk about. Q4 updates overall, when you're looking at it, a decent update that's come in. Stock is buzzing away in trade, 2.6% uptick there. Gross advances were up by around 34% on a year-on-year basis. Deposits seeing a healthy growth of 35%, while the CASA ratio has improved by around 377 basis points on a sequential basis. GNPA, NNPA seems like, the highlight coming in is that it's deteriorated a bit when you're comparing on a quarter-on-quarter basis. GNPAs are expected at around 5.29%, while NNPAs are at around 2.65%. But other than that, deposit growth, gross advances, CASA ratio improving, I think that's keeping ISA Small Finance Bank a bit on the perked up side.
Absolutely. See the stock also seeing good support. Maybe the deposits numbers are heartening for that particular counter. But let's talk about Ipca Labs and Arpit. And on the charts, how is Ipca Labs looking to you? Do you think that this one is also going to make a comeback? It's already made a comeback, 40% in the last 6 months alone. But do you see some more of an upside?
Yeah, so talking from the pharma space, so Ipca Lab, if we see the bigger time frame structure, from past almost 6 months, the stock has moved from almost 950 levels to 1300 levels. But if we see on the basis between Jan series to Feb series, the stock was consolidating, and it has formed a new base around 1200 levels. So the name of the stock is it shift its base higher from 800 levels to 1100, from 1100 to 1200, and on the new base is around 1200 levels. So weekly it is given on a pole and flag pattern breakout, that is a bullish price pattern. And looking at the overall chart setup in coming 1 to 2 weeks, expecting 7 to 8% upside move on the upside. So Ipca Lab is quite strong on chart, so can go long at current levels around 1300 levels, with keeping stop loss of 1240 for an upside move towards 1400 1450 levels.
Okay, that is Ipca Labs for you. Let's move on and talk about what Bernstein strategy is highlighting. What are the stocks that they are highlighting there? Ankita, take it away.
Well, yes, Bernstein has come out with a note on India strategy, and they're saying that right now we are in a state of markets where flows and long-term expectations are really dictating the trends, and building fresh positions is likely to be tough. Now, they have removed Cipla from their portfolio as the coverage in healthcare has been discontinued, and they added a couple of names as Zomato and ICICI Bank being the top of the portfolio. A couple of other picks include HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, Infosys, L&T, NTPC, Bharti Airtel, RIL, and Adani Ports. So these stocks are, as you can see, the move coming in on the stock. Zomato up 2%, and Adani Ports is also trading between 4% and 6% right now.
Okay, let's move on and to the next stock, and that is NBCC. Arpit, what is looking attractive on the charts for this one? Last 4-5 months is when the run-up has started. Do you still expect it to continue?
Yeah, so if you look at the overall chart setup of NBCC, so from December to Feb, we have starting we have seen a decent rally from almost 50-60 odd levels to around 170 levels. But past 45 days, we've seen a sharp correction from higher levels. So the journey where from it started around 115, 120 levels, the stock taken support near that zone itself in last couple of weeks. It formed a good bullish pattern on the daily and weekly scale, and the stock is remounted from the support zone. So from here on also, the risk reward is quite favorable because the bigger trend is positive. The stock is corrected from higher levels, and we have seen a good outperformance in broader indices. So NBCC can active of 10 to 12% in coming sessions. Weekly also it is holding about 130 levels. So going forward, the momentum can be seen with good surge in volumes. So NBCC can be going long at current levels or dip towards 133 for an with stop loss of 125 for an upside move towards 150 plus levels.
All right, so that's the take coming on NBCC. Gaurav, coming to you, let's talk about Amber Enterprises. Amber Enterprises, why is this one in the focus?
Well, yes, Amber Enterprises is in focus because now the company has signed a definitive agreement where it will form joint venture along with 4 other companies. And if you look at the joint venture structure, the wholly owned subsidiary of Amber Enterprises will own actually 55% of the joint venture stake. And this is for the cost of 5 crore rupees. Now talking about the joint venture specifically, this carry out business for manufacturing all types of driving gear, couplers for wagons and Vande Bharat trains, along with Indian Railway products and high speed as well as metro trains. Now given that we have already seen some kind of growth in the last year also in railway projects, and this is not going to slow down. On the back of this, now Amber Enterprise has an opportunity to retain, rather increase its revenue stake, and because of this news we have already that the stock price has also reacted positively. But all in all, given that this is a positive coming up for Amber Enterprise, we will keep an eye on this stock and see how it performs.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Jindal Steel and Power then. Arpit, on the charts, how is this one looking to you?
Talking about Jindal Steel, so first before that we talk about the metal index. So metal index has been one of the stupendous outperforming in last 2 weeks. Metal index trading a lifetime high. Within that, Jindal Steel within the mid-cap space has been the biggest outperformer. So monthly scale, the setup is quite strong. On weekly scale, it is forming higher highs, higher lows. On daily scale also, after a consolidation around 880, 890 levels, the stock is in again uptrend and trading a lifetime territories. Going forward also, we are expecting good outperformance, and so slowly, gradually, the stock is likely to reach toward 4-digit figure, that is above 1000 levels. So within metal pack, Jindal Steel is our top pick. We are quite bullish on it. Technically also the setup is quite strong. Now till it holds above 875, 880 levels, it can see an upside move towards 1000 plus. So Jindal Steel can be buy at current levels with keeping stop loss of 880 for an upside move towards 975, then 1000 levels.
Okay, that is JSPL for y'all. Keep an eye out on those levels over there. But that was the last stock for today. So thank you so much, Arpit, Gaurav, Ankita for joining in with us, and thank you so much viewers for tuning in to ET Now. It's a goodbye from Cheryl, myself as well as the team who put the show together.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.